So apparently the puppy situation may or may not be a scam. We don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess, when it gets there. And yeah. There was a big ordeal where I got called when I was walking my dogs earlier because apparently my mom's phone's not working. And apparently the breeder as well as the shipping company had been trying to get a hold of her and it was not working. So how she ended up getting connected with them, possibly Messenger, I don't know. But she gave them my dad's number and my number, so I was given the heads up in case they called me as well. Which is an annoying thing in and of itself, just from the standpoint of I avoid my phone at all possible costs if I can. Yeah. So there's a big deal about when I was going to get home earlier. It was like, well, I'm on the way back to the car, but we have like a half mile left to go, right? So is okay. And then when I get home, they left the truck over at my grandma's house, and my dad was sitting outside the garage with the door shut and everything. I was like, okay, so he said he got a message from them and it was really confusing, but it said something about the puppy package was on its way and should be there around 5:30. It's now after 5:30, and I sent a message to the group text asking if there was any news on the puppy situation. My dad saw it and isn't responding, so it's kind of par for the course for him anyway, but always drama. This isn't even it. So as I was getting ready today, I have a message pop up in the group conversation, right? So the group with my parents, my brother and his wife, and me. And so I look at it, and my sister-in-law sent this big, long spiel in response to my dad telling the 8-year-old child that he didn't like her. And yeah. Big, long spiel, and nobody ended up saying anything to it. Like, my brother gave it a little heart react to kind of support the whole thing, and since my mom's not been getting messages or phone calls, she didn't even get it, but I guess my dad got it and let her read it, and then when I came in the house after I got back from the walk, my mom was on the phone with my brother, and he was on speakerphone, and he said something about his wife's message, and my mom said she hadn't even seen it until she had my dad's phone and looked at it then. And then my brother said that it would be nice if she could give her a little support on that. Or, in other words, say something, because, to let his wife know that she was on board and agreed with the whole thing. And she didn't, which also figured. And okay, so my brother told her to send a message in response and let her know that she was in support of the thing, and basically get after my dad for the right to actually do the thing, which we know he's not going to. But instead what happened was my mom sent a message about her surgery on her wrist has gotten moved until tomorrow at 1:30. So moved up. And never said anything in response to the message. And then, of course, My dad didn't say anything in response to that message either. He went straight to the other one and said, thank goodness, or something. I was just like, okay. Yeah, so, While my mom was on the phone with my brother, she volunteered me to take money over to loan to him. She just said it like, don't go anywhere until Sarah brings this. And she never said anything to me. And I gave her like a dirty look for it. And then it was a big deal about, well, do you care? It's like my brother best of all of you assholes, but I still don't like how this whole thing came up. Whatever. I took the money over there. And again, probably shouldn't have, because anytime you yield to any capacity, she automatically like feels she's got her clutches back in and she can do whatever the hell she says or she wants, right? And you're just supposed to go along with it. So I guess I went along with it. Again, only because it's my brother. But yeah. So when I left the house last, my dad was there, and I thought my dad was there. I didn't see him anywhere when I got my skating stuff together and went to leave, so I sent a text and said, whatever this puppy situation is, I'm going skating. And he said okay. So yeah, again, I will believe it one way or another when it actually shows up at this point. Because it wouldn't surprise me either if they're just like pissing around on this end of it as well, just to keep everybody in the chaos, basically. God, I came over here, and then I get here, right? And I get all my gear on, and I get out to stretch, and my phone rings. It says potential spam, which it always says potential spam. And I answered it just in case. And it was not the shipping company or anyone connected with that. But what it was the damn assholes that keep trying to call me to get money out of me for like a fucking... There's like a credit card that I had like 2010. And it got sent to collections, and I paid on it for a while. When I told them that I had gotten married and changed the name, they had no problem changing the name on the account for me. They did not change it right. And when I asked after that for them to fix it, they never did. So when the guy calls and says the name, and the name that I had, it was a SK in the middle of it, and they always put SHC. So it was never accurate, and it always pissed me off. And as soon as they did it, I asked them to change it, and they didn't change it. And since I got divorced, I asked them to change it, and they didn't change it. So it's like, fuck you assholes. Whatever, I don't even give a shit, right? So they call me again, or they call me, and this time I answer because, okay, I had it on an automatic thing where they were like pulling $20 out every single month. And like 2.5 years ago, that stopped for some reason. I didn't stop it. I don't know why it stopped. It stopped. And I have not called to get it kicked back up. They have called me, and I've gotten a letter at one point in time. But the guy, when I answered the phone, he asked me this name, and I said, no, that's never been my fucking name, and I hung up. And I'm so sick of people and their stupid bullshit. And like, okay, see, that's one of those things that I feel like, credit card companies, period, also fucking collection agencies, all this bullshit. It's like, literally all this stuff is only good for keeping people bound to never being able to get ahead in life, right? Doesn't matter anything that happened along the way. It's just they're going to haunt you until the day you die, until it goes away. I was really pissed when I got off the phone. And, and that's the other thing. When I asked them to change the name, they never needed proof of the name change. Yet when I asked them after that, they weren't able to do it, regardless of proof. It's like, okay, you can't get my name right. Fuck you. Piss off. I don't care. But yeah. Probably not the most ideal way of handling the situation, I guess. But I'm just kind of over it because that's like a multiple times thing when I've talked to them. When I got the payment plan set up to begin with and all the other times I've had to deal with them, I always ask them about the name, and for whatever reason, it could never happen. But then, God, one of my fucking student loans pisses me off too. I jumped through all the hoops to send them my divorce paperwork and get my name changed on that account. And it was changed briefly. And then randomly, they start sending me stuff with the married name. It's like, well, that's not even my fucking name anymore. So, the hell? It's like, you changed it. I sent you all the shit to show that it had changed, and you had it changed, and then it just reverts back? The fuck? Sick of people. Yeah, especially since the assholes I live with aren't responding. Yeah. Of course, my mom doesn't have her phone, supposedly. It's not working for whatever reason. But my dad definitely saw the message and never said anything, so I don't know. I will say skating was a very good idea, because I skated hard when I first started. Like the first mile. I'm wanting to say that might have been the best time ever, because it was like under 9 minutes. It was like 8:50 something. So it's like, okay. But it's just like channeling all the anger and being pissed at all the stupid shit that's going on, and like the fact that I got strung back into my family's damn chaos, and then everything else on top of that, and just all the icky stuff. So yeah, so I skated hard, and then less hard later. But yeah, like the first couple miles I was cranking it. I was just channeling the anger. I'm so sick of everything right now. I had a dream this morning that was kind of weird. And I've been thinking about it for a little while. Okay, so in this dream, I'm meeting my family, like my actual family. I don't know who all was supposed to be there. The only ones that I went to pull in the parking lot. And when I got there, in the dream, mind you, okay, the slots in front of the building that we were going into were parallel to the building, right? Until I pulled into the slot. And then when I got out, I realized it was perpendicular instead. It's like, that wasn't right. But my uncle was right there, and it was talking over the top of it and just kind of like adding into the confusion, and didn't say anything about the parking spot. But then it was like, well, that annoys me, because now I'm not parked in it correctly, and I don't like that at all. So I went to change how I was parked, and ended up getting pissed at the spaces at the front of the, or right in front of the store, and like moved out into the parking lot further where they were all going the correct way. You know, they were all running parallel to the building, and when I pulled in it, they stayed parallel to the building, except for the ones up front that had originally been parallel to the building until I parked in it, and then it was perpendicular. And it's like, the fuck? You know, but then my uncle was there and was pissing me off and was just kind of talking over the top of it and just adding into the confusion. It's like, you know, I was all kinds of irritated with the whole thing. But then when I parked further out, I parked in the space and it stayed parallel to the building. So I go in the building and I see my cousin and her husband, and I was aware that she was holding their baby, but I didn't look at the baby. And then my aunt was there, that cousin's mom, and then everybody else was kind of like this. It was like they were all there, but they were all just this massive, dense, gray energy. And it was like all this anger from these people was just kind of being channeled in my direction, right? And it's like I was there talking to my cousin very briefly, my aunt very briefly, and then I just felt like this channeled angry energy being sent my way. And it was like I got the sense of my grandma being there, but she was just part of this, you know, dense gray ickiness. And it's like I was really kind of uncomfortable with being there in that moment. It's like, not, I don't know, just because I could feel what my family was sending me. And it's like, even though it's all like this, I mean, obviously it wasn't real, but yet at the same time it's kind of real, because most of my family doesn't like me at this point in time, because I am the one that's, you know, having issues with their illusion and not allowing it to just exist as it always has, because it always has. You know, I'm on here doing this stuff, you know, and disconnecting from the family. And yeah, I don't know. Where's that dude going? Truck with a trailer and a mower on it. And there's like all sorts of sporting events over here tonight. Just like baseball, tennis, cross country. There's a whole bunch of shit. And I kept getting interrupted when I was skating because people kept, you know, turning down there, and that's not where anything is. So yeah, but it appears as though the back lots are kind of full, so they're moving this way. Goody. Yeah. But anyway, it's like, wasn't obviously something that was literally taking place, but at the same time, that dense, angry energy, it's like I very much feel that coming my direction. You know, and I had this kind of weird thing last night. Okay, yesterday, in my second video, I totally bit it, right? And like, fell while I was doing the video, and luckily didn't break my phone or anything. But definitely fell. And last night, what's that? I said, what's the puppy sitch? And I got a mess is now the response that I have gotten back. So I don't know what that means, but when I was getting ready to leave the house, before he left, I said something about what's the situation with it, and he said something about the shipping company was wanting more money. It's like, okay. So then he probably left to go over to my grandma's house, where my mom, I think, was again. It's just whatever. Like I said, I will believe this puppy actually exists when the puppy is actually there. And it will not hurt my feelings one bit if I get out of there before the puppy gets there. Like, permanently out of there. But I might end up moving because there's a lot of people coming in here. Yeah. You know, and then I think that was the biggest thing that was really annoying today, was just that I felt the chaos, right? And it's like, I don't always feel it to that extent, but I was feeling it pretty solidly today, and it's like, I gotta skate. And I did. And yeah, I'm gonna move. Hold on. Wait. Maybe not. They went the other line. Okay. If there's much more, I probably will. Anyway. Yeah, just feeling that chaos. And like, you know, all the chaos on the walls that's not in my system, that I was excited wasn't in my system. It's like, it's felt like it's in my system again. I don't like that. And, yeah. Yeah, fuck it, I'm moving. Okay, so, yeah, so the chaos just makes me feel like maybe I should paint the bathroom next and get some of it out again. I'm just so tired of everything. I feel like there's probably even some kind of little message in the fact that, like, even all the sports traffic was crowding my space. It's like, it's people crowding my space everywhere anymore. But I guess that's really easy to do when you've outgrown the space. I've definitely outgrown the space. I'm no part of this town anymore. But since I'm here, I might as well go get some ice cream tonight, so go. Yeah. Especially if there's puppy mess that God only knows what the deal is now. Fix my bangs. Trimmed them. I feel much better. And yeah, got the death metal shirt again. So, big fan. Wasn't going to skate in it, but I paired it this way today. But yeah, it was all. I got ready this morning. It was like 11:30 when I stopped journaling and whatnot, and was focusing on getting ready. And then it's like, it kept saying that we're supposed to get rain all throughout the day, so I wasn't going to go do the yard work for the family friend today because I already told him tomorrow and the next day. But then it didn't rain at all, so it's like, well, I could have. Oh well. But didn't happen. So kind of stoked. I ordered a couple things off Etsy. There is it's all sound healing stuff. There's a set of tuning forks and all, you know, colored to go along with the chakra system and whatnot, and have their own little baggies as such as well. And then there's this amethyst wind chime that the service dog's back. He was sniffing me while I was skating the other day. Today, they let him off the leash as I skated around, and he, like, followed me for a little while, but I only went so far before he turned back to his people, but he was really trying to sniff, and I just kept moving. I'm going to guesstimate an Aussie, but where was I before that? Oh, the wind chime. Yes. I even got it personalized with my little Mystic Fuchsia name on there, since that's kind of become the thing now, I guess, which is kind of silly because it was literally just me trying to figure out an email address so my ex wouldn't be able to find me, and then just pairing random words together. And now it's the thing. It's the Instagram name. It's the YouTube channel. Yeah. So it is what it is. It was almost a part of the Derby name. That was Mystic Storm. And I thought about including it in there, but I didn't. I should have. Oh well. I've actually been thinking here lately about sending one person on, or that I met through the league, sending her my YouTube channel so she can check it out. Because when I retired from Derby, she was the one that I had to contact, so I reached out and told them that I was going to retire, and they said, if it was a money situation, we could work something out. And I was like, no, it's like, I feel like, I said it had some more to do with the toxic family situation, and realizing that if I was continuing it was because everybody in my family was getting into going to support me, which some of them sure, but my mom was I'm less convinced of course. Because she was like the biggest naysayer in the whole thing, like starting out, and then as it continued on, like that never got any better. Because she was always like, she said, it hurts a lot more when you fall and break something, and in your 40s. It's like, or at 38, because that was how old I was when I went in. It's like, it really didn't matter, because like most of the people I skated with, I think 38, which is how old I was when I went in, was the median age for the league. Like one lady that, one of my friends there for a while, she was 3 months older than my mom's youngest sister. The one that was 15 when I was born. So like these family parallels and just weird things on that end. Yeah, maybe it's a little better. I don't know. No, probably not. But yeah, like, that parallel being the fact that I was 15 when the youngest of my cousins was born. And my aunt was 15 when I was born. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought about sending this person the information because they were all about the walking away from a toxic family dynamic situation, and very supportive of that. So I thought about sending them a message and being like, hey, in case you're interested, here's this thing I've been doing. Sometimes talk about Derby, but not a whole lot. I don't know. I mean, more of the toxic family shit that I talked about than anything, but yeah. Let's see. Nope, just still a mess. What else is new? It's like the gray blobs of the family. Saw this freaking dense train wreck energy. Kind of over it. I have started a new routine. When I skate, I end with a plank. Right now, just one. It's going a lot better than I thought it would when I first started. Or like when I went to start, because I was just like, whatever song's on, it's like, okay, I'll go till this point in the song and then just kind of hold it, and it's like, doing better than I thought it would. I don't know. It's not great, but yeah, it's better than I thought it would, so yeah. Oh, crap. I thought about setting up an appointment to donate platelets today, but then I figured if I do that, then I won't be doing yard work tomorrow because I'd be passing out. And that would be a problem. So then it's like, maybe I won't do that just yet. Maybe I'll get the yard work first. Should have gone and spent some time on it today, but it is what it is. I'm just glad I skated. I was thinking that, since everything is so chaotic with my family right now, like I keep saying that I need to skate more. So maybe the chaos is partly to keep me focused on actually. Yeah, it's laced out on my face. The chaos is largely to push me to go skate and make that the routine thing that I wanted it to be and that I threatened for it to be. And I keep saying that I would like to do another 21 miles one day before. That looks really dark. I don't know what's happening with my lighting. Like to do another 21 mile day, maybe before May is over, maybe before June's over. We'll see. But then it's like, when I started, it's like, okay, I've done 3 and 4 miles more than anything. Last year, I wasn't above hitting like the 14 mile days. Haven't done that in a while. I did go 7 today, but I thought about continuing. I really did. And then I was like, well, I don't know what this puppy situation is, and probably hear something about that at some point. And last I knew, it's just a mess. So, whether it is or isn't, who the fuck knows? But it was very, very helpful to be able to channel that rage out of my system when I started out. I don't know, I'm just so sick of everything that's in place to basically just keep people from being able to get ahead. And even down at this family level where, I saw this thing, I think it was like a Zen philosophy page that popped up for me today on YouTube. And one of the things it said was, it's talking about dealing with narcissists and how you're going to continue getting those types of people in your life until you really learn the lesson about your compassion being weaponized. It's like, that's an interesting way of looking at it. But that's what it is, right? So, my family, all these toxic people with their bullshit, especially my grandfather, my mom, and I've said the past few videos that I'm not real set on if my dad is an actual narcissist or if he is just extremely toxic. He's kind of like borderline. And then I watched this video from Dr. Ramani last night, I think, and it was talking about emotional immaturity versus narcissism. And she talked about narcissism as a continuum, and that emotional immaturity can absolutely be on the low grade narcissism, and I kind of feel like that's probably where my dad fits in. But yeah, it's like my brother was really wound up after everything yesterday. It's like, well, as he should be, since our father is bullying his child now. And I sent him that thing. It's like, I've been torn on it, but I do feel like after watching this video, like he is in fact on that narcissism spectrum as well, but more heavily so in the emotional immaturity end. Because he's definitely going to take the opportunity to be a dick to you if you're not going along with. See, the big thing with him is, since me and my brother are doing better about setting boundaries, I feel like he isn't getting basically the energetic pat on the back from our mom for doing her bidding. So like when we weren't cooperating with going to the hospital to see our grandfather when he was dying, finally, Mom would she'd do her thing and bitch to our father, who would then send us some kind of shitty message about, how we're letting her down and all this shit. It's like, still more so flying monkey situation on him. But, yeah, I think there's still some narcissism there, because I don't know, he's fucking toxic as fuck. Which is really, I don't know, like, I've gone back and forth on that whole thing too. It's like, it seems weird that it's so easy to cut him off and be ready to do so and to not speak to him around the house and all that stuff. And then my mom, it's like, it gets really difficult. But then at the same time, it's like, he basically, if my brother and I were going along with whatever she wanted, he didn't have to worry about us. He didn't have to do anything. But if we weren't going along with what she wanted, then he would get after us, and make us feel bad, guilt us into doing the thing that she demanded we do or whatever. It's like, I don't know. Damn toxic family. Still nothing. But yeah, that thing earlier that I was talking about, until you stop allowing your compassion to be weaponized, it's like, I can see that. That's literally my life right there. It's like, I always felt bad because it's in me to want to help people and, try to fix things where I can. But at the same time, if people don't want to be fixed and they just want to suck the life out of you, then that's, so it was like weaponized against me, right? So it's like my own compassion that becomes the knife in the heart. I don't know. I have to sit with that idea too. But yeah, that was, I don't know. Still going back to that dream. I have been thinking about that a lot this morning too, or today too. That was the thing when I woke up this morning. Like, the first thing I did was start writing that. It's like, I gotta put this down on paper, because I need to remember this. I know there is so much more to that. But then the question is, was I able to see my cousin and her husband because they were more detached from the toxic family? As I am thinking about it now, it feels like the baby was kind of in the gray blob. It's like I was aware that he was there, but I wouldn't look at him. But then was he part of the gray mass that was like hating me? Or I don't know. But then, yeah, when I, like, the fact that I could actually see them and know who they were, then it was like, is it because they're, of all the toxic family, they at least have more boundaries from the toxic family than some others might? Oh. trying to think if there was anything else that I was wanting to. See, when I was thinking earlier about doing a video, it was from the space of, okay, so maybe it wasn't a scam on this puppy thing. But then it's like, just with everything that keeps happening, and it's like, I don't know if it is or isn't, but at this point I will not believe anything until there's one there or not. Because these people are exhausting. And that's just all there is to it. But yeah, like even like Jen's message earlier where she's talking about how Gracie was really hurt and all this stuff. It's like, when I read it, it was one of those things where it's like awkward, and I scanned it more than anything because it's like, you know, I've talked about how I feel on the situation with her too, and I feel like she is definitely a lot more like our mom than my brother realizes, and to that narcissist extreme. And I say that because, going back to that daggone bear picture, because when my mom was looking for a way to, I mean, basically tear me down for it in some kind of way, you know, like she and my dad hijacked the rest of the day after, or within a half hour of finding out that I won the contest, right? So then, with my sister-in-law, she was the one that was aware of what my parents had done, and she was going the other extreme and just bragging on it so much. And I think I'm going to get a magnet printed off with the picture on it and blah, blah, blah. It's like, that just feels fake. That feels fake and gross, and I don't like it. And no, ew. Literally, it's like, that's one of those things. It's like, all it would take was somebody say, hey, cool. Not even a good job. I don't need a good job. Just cool. You know, that would have been okay. But then, so when she went the opposite extreme, it like feels like that, you know, the pendulum, right? So my parents are on this side of it, so she's going to swing back to the other way and, you know, try to come from that angle. But it's like, that's not balanced either. That's equally fucked up, just from the opposite side. Hold on. That's interesting. We got both fire trucks, the ambulance and the fire chief truck, I guess. You know, like 4 different trucks come down this little one-way road, and they came in. So I don't know if something's going on. One of these sporting events. Or they could even just be cutting through, I don't know. But yeah. So what was I talking about before that? Oh, the bear and I'm I think that deal on her end was just kind of a reminder, you know, because I mentioned that I was just looking for a way out of here, and then she and my brother mentioned that if they moved, I could go with them. And it was intriguing because it gave me space to start thinking about where I would go if I could go anywhere. But then it also really made me sit with the idea of living with her, and I'm confident I could not. And yeah, you can call that whatever you want to, but I am confident I absolutely could not do that, because I feel like at some level we would be butting heads because of the same shit I butt heads with my mom on. And she would just be trying to come from the angle of being so much better than our parents. But yet she's still doing the same shit, so nope. Forget that. Not interested at all. But yeah, like the big thing with the text that she sent, you know, she's talking about Gracie needs to know that she is deeply loved by all members of this family or whatever. It's like, 4. I was like, the problem with that is my dad doesn't even like himself. He is not capable of loving another human being, period. And I feel like that's the same with my mom too. Like, they hate themselves enough that, they never, my dad would admit to that probably. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I honestly, see, that's where I think that he kind of is more of a narcissist, because I feel like the fact that he was able to blow off the message, and I feel like he's sitting there with some kind of cocky little gloat about his energy that he hurt the child's feelings, honestly. And I don't know how many times. Okay. Specific incident. When I was working with this guy that was connected to my family, my grandfather was part of this one of those old men's breakfast clubs kind of things, and with the local McDonald's in town. And this guy ended up a part of that somehow, and he had a little handyman business, and since he was part of the coffee club from time to time, then, my family started paying him to get some work done, right? So, problem was, he wasn't real good. I ended up working with him for a time, and he lived at this little apartment building where he stayed rent-free because he was their handyman, so if somebody called him at 3 o'clock in the morning, he had to get up and go deal with whatever the issue was, but still, free rent for all of that. He eventually got fired from that, which is not surprising, because the last job that I worked with him on, he was drinking so much during the job. And, he's a contractor, right? So we're building this wall in this space. Okay, so it's the second level, and it's this little, loft kind of a thing, but the people decided they wanted to put a wall up right next to the banister, right? So we have to build this wall in this tiny little space where we ended up having less than 6 inches on any side to be able to build this thing in this space, right? And at one part of it, he was up there. He put 6 holes in this fucking wall because he was drunk, and then we had to stop and fix the holes, before we could finish with the wall and all this stuff. And it was really irritating. And then he kicked over a bunch of paint into the carpet and was going to try to let me take the fall for it. And I was pissed, and I knew exactly what he was gonna do. And I was like, look, you need to talk to the homeowner and tell him what happened. And I was cleaning up the mess, and I did the best I could to get the paint out of the carpet, but I feel pretty confident that might have been his last job, period, that he was doing the handyman business on. Because those people were pissed too. And it wouldn't surprise me if he did blame me for it, but I made him go talk to the homeowner while I was there, because I knew he was going to try to deny anything happening. And then put the blame on me, which he might have still done. I wasn't right there talking to the guy, but I was pissed when I was cleaning the paint up out of the carpet. So, I don't know what he said one way or another, but I don't know, that guy kind of, when I first moved back up here and started working for him, it wasn't too bad, because like, I mean, there was a lot of like painting apartments after people moved out of them and cleaning them up real good. And it's like, no, that's no big deal. I can handle that stuff. And I liked it because I could listen to whatever music I wanted to. And, you know, I was there by myself. So if I had a thought, I'd have time to like text it to myself while I was doing this other stuff. And he knew that I would do this from time to time. That I would like text myself notes. And it wasn't a problem. But at least it wasn't for a long time. You know, I don't know. He just got real sketchy with how he was doing everything. The biggest thing that I didn't like about working with him was I always felt like he was trying to earn my family's good graces by letting me have this job, by helping me out, by giving me this job, when I think he was trying to earn my grandfather's approval. And then he used to call my mom all the time, and, you know, he'd said she was like one of his older sisters and all this stuff. And apparently at some point my dad got pissed with him calling her all the time, and there was drama. Just drama. Yeah. But it's like I always felt like he was just trying to swoop in and get my grandfather's approval. He didn't know that I'm the one that my grandfather liked the least, so it might not necessarily go as well for him on that end. You know, but then he started flaking on jobs there too. He fixed the roof for my grandparents, but didn't actually fix the roof, but didn't know how to fix it any better. So just kind of disappeared. And he was working for the school system, but then I think my mom said she heard he got a girlfriend somewhere, and he's kind of fallen off the face of the planet since then, which, you know, I dumped him off Facebook when I was doing the purge on just, you know, people who in general don't need access to me in any kind of way or whatever. He was an easy one to let go of. But yeah, so like one of the big jobs he had for my parents was, my idea. When I first moved back, like, we had a dog door, but it was one of those that like fit into a sliding glass door. So there was always a gap, like in the middle of the winter, there's always this gap where it doesn't, you know, we had like this cushion of some sort that we stuffed into the gap, but it still had a little bit of a leak, right? So when it's really fucking cold outside, it was really cold inside too. So when I moved back, it's like, okay, so that's a pain in the ass, and, you know, we've talked about it being a pain in the ass, so why don't we close it up, like put a wall there and put a regular door on it and build the dog door into the wall and then have like a window over it. So parents liked that idea. We ended up doing that. While we were working on it, my dad, get back to the point. My dad was talking to this guy. They were talking through the window, and of course they both have the same gross kind of viewpoints. You know, that was where the big one came up with my dad spouting off about, well, I got spanked and I turned out fine. It's like, no, you didn't. You're a fucking bully. You know, but like that conversation, like I don't know that I called them out that straightforward, but I did point out that they were, you know, name calling, you know, because they were throwing out that whole snowflakes and all this stuff. It's like, did you turn out all right? Because you sound like an asshole. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Really kind of all over the place today. Oh, no shipping. Uh-oh. It's my sister-in-law, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know if there's more information. All I saw of her message was no shipping company would hold a live animal like this. So I'm gonna say still potentially fucked up. Who knows? I don't know one way or another. I think my sister-in-law also likes to jump on the idea of swooping in and being the hero from time to time. So I don't know what's going on. Kind of don't really care anymore. I kind of just want out of here. Screw this shit, man. We just go anywhere but here. At this point, if it wasn't for my stuff, I wouldn't have a problem, like, taking my dogs and living in a van for a while just to go somewhere else. Yeah, I thought about doing that, like having a camper van or something. It's like, I suppose if I put my stuff in, like, storage somewhere, and then making it so when I'm good and ready to disappear, I can good and ready disappear. Because I am ready to disappear. Probably be helpful if I still had my skates on. Go skate some more. But since I don't, I think I'm going to get ice cream because I do have money enough to do that. Not a whole lot, but hey. Oh, my sound healing things. They will be here. Actually, okay, so I got the tuning forks and the wind chime that are coming. They should be here within the next week. And then I had looked up this other thing because I got this other, like, the sound bowl on a stick. One of those practitioner's wand thing. Like the lady was talking about at group the other day, except for this one, it's one of the brass ones rather than like the crystal kind, or whatever, quartz or whatever the fuck they're, whatever the fuck hers is. I don't know. But yeah, like I ordered that and a rain drum from this other page, and I think that truck has 777 on the license plate. And yeah, I will be getting all of those soon. The other one was still processing last I looked. It's like I ordered it. I guess I did only order it last week, but it's like it was taking a while. And I kind of was wondering if they were waiting on something in particular, because the other place that I've ordered things through also, my shelves, haven't shipped out yet either. But the sound stuff, I'm all about that stuff, because I think that it's going to be immensely helpful while I'm still stuck. Because I was sitting at my computer earlier, and it's like I really just wish I had something, and I would just like, I mean, probably about as much nervous habit as anything, but just play it to have it, distracting me from the aggravating shit that is my family situation at the moment. A couple vultures up there. Way up there. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some ice cream. So yeah, I was talking about that shit with the money earlier. I'm talking about this shit now. It's like, yeah. But like that was like early life fuck up because, not being better directed by my family, and stress shopping is a thing. See, that was one of those things where I was talking about yesterday, the Abundance Alchemist page. Abundance Alchemist. Man, I can't talk. Okay. He had this thing posted where he's talking about your old coping mechanisms not working. It's like, that's that, like the eating thing, absolutely. Like my stress eating is like, ugh. I like it. I feel like anytime I eat something that, kind of anything that my mom fixes anymore. Like used to, she was a really good cook, and now I feel like her intentions definitely carry over into the food, and it's like everything just makes me kind of want to puke. Um, yeah. But yeah, like the stress shopping, I mean, still that's kind of been a thing. But since it's at least something that's going to be helping me on this, I mean, because it's sound healing, right? So there's a purpose, a healing purpose for the things that I'm getting now. Yeah, that was a big thing when I started taking classes at Inner Path last year. Like Lanita was talking about how if you find yourself drawn to the rocks and you don't know why, follow it. And she was talking about how, she ended up collecting like all these different rocks and crystals and things, and then of course now she's using them as part of her career. So she said, well, like, whatever you feel inclined to do, there is a reason you feel inclined to do it. So I mean, and I'm having the income at the moment while the kid is still around, so I am able to do it at this point in time. But yeah, I mean it'll work out. That I am sure of. I'm just really ready to start not being here more than anything. Or maybe the right way to say that is to stop being here in this town, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, guess I'll go see what's going on with the bullshit puppy drama. Yeah. And get ice cream, because that'll make me feel better after having to deal with all these people anyway. And it might just be my dinner at this point, so. I did have pineapple earlier, which, yeah, that's like solar plexus food. Really hooked on pineapple. And have been for several months. But yeah, for now, I can go to my Butterfinger Flurry, and hopefully there's not a ridiculous line over there, since most of the town appears to be here at the school system. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. So, as always, I appreciate you. As always, I appreciate you. And until the next time, see you later.